Look at this setup, right?
It's pretty good, man.
Yeah. So, hey, what's up? Welcome to the Facebook Live /podcast. I am Barack Obama. This is Donald Trump. And that is not true. I'm Joey Little, Social Little Man on all the interwebs. If you can't find me, just Google it, Social Little Man. And speaking of Google, one of their favorite prodigal sons, Shaun Raines with DealerOn with me here today. We're in Kentucky at the David Kane 11th Annual Friends and Family Barbecue.
12th Annual.
Close.
Yeah.
12th Annual.
So close.
Friends and clients. It's a workshop where car dealerships, even Harley Davidson dealerships around the country, come and learn from people like you.
Yep.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring Shaun on today. By the way, thanks everybody. Now, what's really cool about the Facebook Live, and this is also being recorded for the podcast, which is on iTunes and also the Android Google Music Store, is it's not just auto industry people that are popping in here. We've got small business owners.
Excellent.
We got real estate agents. We've got, all kinds of guys. I guess somebody does marketing for a casino. We talk a lot about casinos on here.
Okay, cool.
But Shaun, I wanted to bring on today because Shaun's out here, and he's my twin brother without the glasses and a little bit slimmer. But I talked to Shaun about the basics of paid search marketing, right? I've been focusing on personal branding through social media and also through different devices and what you can do. I wanted to bring Shaun on because, Shaun, I get a lot of how the hell do I get started, right?
Yeah.
We always assume that somebody's at some kind of, they've been going down the path for a while and they're just looking for best practices. But give me... By the way, any shout out to if you want to talk about DealerOn, if anybody needs websites or anything like that.
Yeah, sure.
Give me what you believe are the first steps to a business when it comes to wanting to put together a paid search strategy.
Well, I would say the first thing to realize is that really the tip of the spear for digital marketing is search. And most people have a hard time, especially if you're a small business, in winning on the organic side, so the SEO side, right? SEO to a lot of people is like witchcraft or voodoo because it really is a moving target.
It's just search engine optimization.
Right, it's just search engine optimization. SEM or PPC or paid search, all of which is the same thing. It's a little bit easier to control because Google was smart enough to realize that they could put an advertising platform in to their search network many years ago. I think in 2000 is when AdWords came out, October of 2000. Mm-hmm. And since then, it's just continued to help a small business get right in front of people faster than any other mechanism with an ad. The problem over years and years and years is that there are so many different companies that will try to automate this or make it simplified for a small business, and it'll basically put you into an automated system that doesn't necessarily yield the best result. So anyway, getting into paid search, the easiest thing to do is first realize its value because you have a lot of choices in terms of marketing and advertising.
Right.
Search is the fastest way to get in front of that person, really regardless of business vertical. In automotive, of course, if you want to get in front of somebody who's looking for a Mustang, that's the fastest way to do it, but it works in a lot of verticals.
Breaking this base, breaking it down to a drunk fifth grader, Google is your best friend when it comes as a company.
What were you doing in fifth grade?
That's how we explain things. If you're going to explain it to a drunk fifth grader
what
and they
we were
get
doing
it,
last night?
Right, explain it to drunk fifth graders, and they get it, then you know you've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about, and a lot of people don't even realize how much they use Google when it comes to shopping or looks to, just getting information. But what you really specialize in is how Google is not manipulated, but how to understand the customer and those keywords that they look up when they're looking. Because I'm going down to the basics, right? Mm-hmm. SEO is search engine optimization. It's what your website, how you're found online, correct?
Yeah.
And SEM, search engine marketing, is
paying your way into that same environment.
So we're talking about that yellow box up at the top of the SERP, first page SERP, right? Mm-hmm. And what else is Google doing besides that, the recommended or whatever?
Well, so big changes. It's not even really kind of the yellow box anymore. It used to be that way. Now, most people have a hard time actually differentiating what is an ad unless they can totally see the little icon that says ad by next to the listing. But it used to be, some of you guys that are, been using Google for several years will notice that since February of this year, Google removed the right-hand side, which is all ads, right? So that's a big change this year. And what that's done is instead of there usually being 3 spaces above organic and the
Right.
map listings, there were 3 spaces that could be for a paid ad. Now it's a total of 4, depending on the type of search that's being done. In our industry, automotive, motorcycles, power sports, it's 4.
Yeah.
And then you see the map listing, and then you start to see organic listings. Those are all
that's below
really
the fold,
big. That's
correct.
below the. Most of them are below the fold now
Yeah.
organically. Those are really, really big changes in the last several months this year, and then also now expanded text ads and the ability to actually not just. So I wish we had some visuals, because when you're trying to optimize a paid text ad now, you can do things like a call extension. This means that your phone number is in the ad,
Okay.
right? You can do a location extension, which is actually tied to Google Maps, and it's a link, so somebody could click on it and it's going to show them directions to your store. You can do a site link, which would deep link somebody when we're talking automotive or motorcycles, but whatever your business might be. If there's a place deep in your site that you want somebody to specifically be able to go and look at vehicles, motorcycles, home listings, whatever it is,
Right.
they could go in by. And so this is optimizing one single ad to give somebody the ability to convert without perhaps even going to your website, because you want the phone call more than you want somebody to necessarily try to go and even navigate your whole site.
Right.
Right?
And this is for all industries. This
all
isn't
industries.
just, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, moving over to a little bit where I sit and where my world is, which is social media, social networking, whatever it is. I heard you earlier talking about, I think I was screwing with you last night or whatever it was, that, which, by the way, we have some questions that are coming in. We're kind of far today. By the way, somebody, Brad down in Texas said he loves your hair.
Oh, yeah, Brad's
Heather's a big
awesome.
hero.
I love
Look
Brad.
at the Weiss coming in. Is machine,
I love Brad's hair.
What is Weiss asking here? Is machine readable
Machine
data?
readable, all on page pushing down paid ads and leveraging organic. So what's interesting about that is if you look at what the most significant changes that Google has made since February, it is all benefiting paid search, right? Every single bit of it. So leverage for organic right now, I think if you don't have a really strong SEO provider, you're going to lose more than you're going to win, because what's happening is, I think more than anything, Brent, is Google's basically telling you as an advertiser, if you want to win the paid search game, you need to be doing the right thing mobile. We haven't even talked about that.
Right.
You need to know how to actually build mobile preferred ads. You need to know how to put in call only ads. You need to know how to run dealership listing ads if you're in automotive. You can do that also with power sports and motorcycles. If you don't know that, you're going to lose. But from an organic perspective, I would tell a lot, especially if you're a small business here, because you mentioned there's a lot of people that are not even necessarily automotive. If you're a
Right.
small business, eventually you may want to be investing in SEO. Not a bad thing. In fact, it's a really good thing. But if you are desperate for your phone to ring or people to actually fill out a form or text you or chat with you, paid search is the fastest way to get in front of those people. And you will have a bunch of other people wanting to sell you different types of digital marketing or advertising that don't yield revenue as quickly as you can through paid search. So be careful. But organic is, if you're in a metro or near a big metro, you're typically going to have 3 or 4 people competing for those top listings,
Right.
and you might not even show up on the page organically.
Brent gave you a big thank
below
you.
the fold. Oh.
Says hearing conflicting opinions, but he trusts the guys at DealerOn, which is
Oh,
you.
that's cool. Yeah, it's DealerOn. So you mentioned, shout out or whatever. Yeah, so I am the VP of Business Development at a company called DealerOn, and our bread and butter is the car business. But kind of like Joey, with the various companies we've worked for that are vertical specific, I've done tons of different side project stuff as well in other industries. Very familiar with power sports and motorcycles, and so it's a lot of applicable knowledge and best practices that go across many, many industries for sure. So
I know one of the questions you probably get from a noob that's into paid search or take it over marketing or maybe just getting into digital marketing is, how much should I be spending a month?
Yeah.
Right? Is that kind of an open-ended question of just like, because I can tell you right now, there's somebody that watches these all the time. Her name is Kim, and Kim works for a management company. And what they do is they try to lease out apartments, houses, and things like that. So she's constantly trying to get leads coming in for these type things.
Yep.
And so her inventory can wane from month to month. Is there a base standard of what she can look at for like a start? Because she's doing all organic.
Yeah, so in that industry, I think that's multifamily is the vertical there. That typically, the cost per lead there is extremely high, and you're willing to pay for it in terms of the conversion and finding the most effective ways to drive a conversion result for multifamily type listings, management companies. So I would say one of the things that are really, that's not just important for that industry, but all of them in terms of coming across for conversion rate, right? Trying to drive a good conversion rate, is you've got to pay attention to how your campaigns are set up, both by single keyword ad groups, because it'll affect the quality score of your ad, and it'll affect where you might show up on the page and how much you'll pay for the click. So you want to try to drive a low cost per click, but ultimately you want to drive a low cost per conversion.
Yeah.
And that's done by making sure that you're putting an ad in front of the right person to get the right conversion to the page that they will then take action on.
And a conversion is an action that you get when you're on your website. So
that's somebody that's actually going to call you, or they'll fill out the form.
Right.
That's engagement conversion. That's not we clicked on the maps. You could call that a conversion. I don't define conversion by that. I define conversion by they actually called you or they filled out a form.
I teased earlier, was going to talk a little bit about social, and I still want to because I think it came up. I don't remember how it came up with somebody. I told somebody to kill all of their paid search budget and put it all into Facebook ads, which I was kidding. But with social media becoming as predominant as it has been, but more people recognizing it, and Facebook, coming with just as fast as Google is with what they're doing with target marketing and target remarketing and intent-driven marketing. What is a good balance? I mean, what do you think of social? I know you've been up to Facebook. We've been there at the same time.
Yeah.
But how is the social ads through Facebook really playing with Google? I mean, what do we got?
Okay, so I'm going to hit the reverse button really quick and speak a little bit about budget recommendations, because I didn't totally answer that question before, and I wanted to speak to it.
Too.
I know, but so in automotive, it's a little bit easier because you can actually get a lot of data from campaigns that have been previously run on specific manufacturers, on dealers, and then you can compare that to search data that's geo-specific. You can compare that to what's happening based on other searches and the competition in the market. So there's a lot of good keyword research tools out there that you can do that. It's a little bit more difficult in other verticals. If you've been in this space for a long time, you'll remember Overture. Remember Overture? Yeah. They used to have a tool that you could go and do these budget recs. And companies like, I won't say them, but they rhymes like Preach, Mokel. They used to use the tool like that to be able to give a budget recommendation to any business vertical. But there wasn't a lot of accuracy, so it can be really careful. So if or it can be difficult. So if you're in an industry like I don't know, casinos, or which one was your multifamily type business. Yeah. I would, at least personally, I'd want to know a little bit more about the dynamics of your business, how large it is, how big are your clients, and what cities you're trying to market in. And then I would start with something where you kind of take a conservative approach and move your way up, as opposed to digging a hole that you can barely afford without knowing how to drive a low cost per conversion. So that's one thing.
Now we're to the social.
Now to the social side. So I love our friends at Facebook. I love what Facebook's doing. I think for most businesses, the message really is it's not a social network anymore. It's an advertising platform, and it's a smart one. Google and Facebook both completely brilliant.
No, I'm saying don't say that, because most people think it's they're going to stop logging into it.
They're going to stop trying to convert each other to the other side.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to know what that means.
There's so many people that are so just blown away that on remarketing.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about the social side of remarketing, where they go to Amazon.com and they look up a piece of inventory or whatever it is.
And they get followed.
And then they go to Facebook and there's an ad for whatever they bought there. But there's some flaw there, because it's happened to me with chowderheads.com, where I've bought a t-shirt at Chowderheads. Okay. And then I've been marketed.
I love clam chowder.
Yeah. Have you been to chowderheads.com?
No, but I like
it's like
clam
a Red
chowder.
Sox. Yeah, you New England or Manhattan?
New England.
There's no Manhattan. The Manhattan needs to just go.
I know. What's the point?
The tomato base.
Oh, it's like somebody should be.
But somebody was looking at doing that budget.
Yeah. No, so let's go back to Facebook. Okay, I'm going to check it out for sure. So let's talk about this. With Facebook, love the guys at Facebook. Love the opportunities that exist there.
By the way, Bill Simmons.
Preach Mokel.
That's what you said. It rhymed with Preach.
He knows. I've known Bill for a long time. Shout out, Bill.
Bro.
How are you? So I would tell you that Facebook is a great platform for advertising. It really is. It's fantastic. But you need to be smart. Don't overspend in the beginning, and don't completely divert your entire paid search budget into Facebook, thinking that it's equal. It's not equal, right? It's a part of. And I just finished my presentation here at the Kane Automotive and Friends.
Which, by the way, we're live in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, and this is
country.
Where they make Kentucky bourbon barrel ale, and it's delicious.
It is very well.
But In this session that I just did, one of the things that I kind of closed with was I told dealers, I think you should have, and this is for any business, even if your exploratory budget is only $20 a month,
right.
You should always have a part of your marketing strategy and your advertising plan is that you have a percentage of budget, a small one if it needs to start that way, that is basically there to explore in different areas. Facebook is one of those areas where it's starting to prove itself in the various different types of ads that you can run, lead generation ads now for dealers, but it doesn't perform and it's not identical to paid search. And I will tell you that back in 2006 and 2007, one of the things that I used to tell dealers, actually more importantly, I would tell the vendors that were positioning themselves to compete against third-party providers. So you had paid search vendors at the time that were telling dealers, go and create your own first-party leads. Mm-hmm. And they were positioning themselves as direct competitors to AutoTrader or Cars.com or whatever. And it was absolutely the wrong way to position themselves because they don't act the same way, they don't perform the same way, and they don't actually drive the exact same person. What you can do through paid search is one-to-one. If you get somebody on AutoTrader, you got to hope that they find your car among the 30 other. Right. They're simply, there's a lot of complexity there. So I will tell you from a Facebook perspective, I'm a fan and I think you should use it. I think dealers should definitely, if you're in areas where you have a sports team or if high school football, although the season's coming to an end, but if those things are big. I live in Frisco, Texas, which is where the Cowboys just moved their entire training and practice facility. And in that city, our Frisco ISD, the school district there, had $33 million to put into a new stadium because we have 10 high schools in Frisco now. They gave that $33 million to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys made part of the Star Cowboys facility. They built the Ford Center, which is a brand new indoor stadium, and high school football is huge there. You walk up on this grass field, and it looks like miniature AT&T Stadium.
Friday Night Lights.
It's amazing. But I've told a lot of dealers in that area, because Dallas is a great car market, run some Facebook location-based ads on that for 3 hours, a mile radius, drop right on that little stadium. And guess what? You've got moms and dads and teenage kids that are not paying attention to the whole game, and that's a great time to put an ad. I got an ad that's location-based here in the hotel because I'm a Seahawks fan, and they know that about me through Facebook, and it's trying to tell. It thinks now that I'm a Kentucky resident that has its heart in Seattle for the Hawks. Right? Well, that's pretty smart, although it missed the mark slightly, right? But that's what I'm telling you. Experiment with some of those types of things. Was it one of those T-shirts
that says, "My heart may be in Seattle, but my
heart. I may live in Kentucky, but my heart is in Seattle."
Yes. Was it one of those T-shirts?
It was. Yeah. So,
and people get blown away when they see those.
They do see them, but that's like the tip of the iceberg. The more you go down, and the more that you talk to people like Joey, right? He understands the dynamics of some of the things that you should be trying. So explore, and dedicate budget to that. But then track, and measure.
It's all about back end,
right? Because if you don't do that, you'll think, man, this Facebook stuff's really great, because you'll be paying attention to a metric that doesn't matter, but it's exactly what somebody might want you to think is the one that matters, and it's not. So
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to thank you for coming on the live today, man.
Man, this is awesome. So I wish we could do it every week.
Your other Gifford's coming out tonight, tomorrow?
I don't know if he lands tonight or tomorrow, but he'll be speaking tomorrow. So Greg Gifford, the real watching. Beard. Oh, cool. Yeah, he's watching.
On.
Yeah, so Gifford will be in the house tonight or tomorrow, and he's the real beard, and I'm the hair at DealerOn.
That's what it was, the beard and the hair.
The beard and the hair. That's the beard and the hair.
So thanks for coming on. I appreciate this. We'll have the podcast. If you want to follow the Facebook Lives in the future, if you're listening to the podcast or watching this on YouTube, you can just go to facebook.com/SocialLitleMan. It's been a really cool time with you. You're going to be here all week.
For sure, yeah.
We're going to do some more. We're going to talk to Kenny Landrum tomorrow. I don't know if you've ever met Kenny. I guess you did.
I have,
you guys,
awesome
you
guy.
were fist bumping, so you guys have known each other for a while.
A little bit.
We're going to have Kenny on. He's going to be talking about personal branding, how he uses Facebook and social videos, things for personal branding. This is really awesome knowledge you just got from Shaun Raines. This is stuff that people are paying a lot of money for. So I'll have this out and about. I want to thank everybody for joining. And remember to, I always go out with, remember to keep smiling.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And I be nice to each other.
That's good.